Hello and welcome to Kat's Cottage. I'm going to make some soup this morning. Snow is on the ground and I think some good hot soup would be good. And I know a lot of you know how to make soup, but this is for those that need reminding or don't know. I'm going to show you real quick what I do to prepare, and I'm going to do it in a crock pot so I don't have to stand over the pot and keep it from anything happening to it. So we're going to start. My first thing I put in my pot, of course, is the water. Then I put some meat. And I have some leftover ham from Christmas that I have frozen. And so I got a hunk of that out. And I cut it up in hunks and slices and things like that and froze it for other things that I might need. So I've got some ham that just makes soup and beans and greens and things like that taste delicious. So you absolutely need some flavoring. Those of you that don't eat meat, you need a flavoring. You could use the meat flavoring and then take the meat out later. But anyway, I'm going to show you how I get started here. I've already got water in my crock pot. You can see it right there, and I got it on the stove. I got it on high. And I've taken, let me see, I've got my meat over here. I got it out of the freezer. It was all wrapped up in the freezer. And I microwaved it because it was frozen. And if I put that frozen into my crock pot, it'll give it another whole hour thawing it out in there. So I went ahead and microwaved it and heated it up. Anything you get out of the refrigerator, microwave it or warm it up in some way before you put it in your crock pot, because you're backing your crock pot up as far as being ready at noon or late supper time. So I'm going to cut this up a little bit. Don't have to. If I just put it in there like that, it would just break down and fall apart. But I'm going to cut it a little bit, okay? I'm going to put it right down here, and I'm going to turn y'all down. There it is. Okay, I'm just going to cut it up a little bit before I put it into my pot. Make sure y'all can see what I'm doing. Bring you on over here so you can see. There we are. Wasn't much sense in having y'all across the room, was it? There are a little bit of bone in here, so I'm just going to kind of cut around. Cut it up like that and leave the bone. It's thawed out. It's not warm, but it's pretty warm. Now, that's going to go in the pot. Let's walk over here. My pot's full of water. And I'm going to drop this down in there. There we go. Put that in the sink. Okay. And now this ham, now I'm going to talk about the ham just a minute. If you take ham that is, let me say this, the ham that's been cooked and sliced, if it's been sliced up and you bought it that way, it's been cooked to a degree. And so if you try to use that later in your cooking, it's going to be like rubber. It's going to be tough and hard and rubbery. This is fresh ham that I cooked myself in the oven. So you can use its leftovers for a lot of things. It's not like the other. The other is just like lunch meat. And you think about it, you're going to put lunch meat in a soup and try to make it cook down, and it's not going to happen. But this was ham that I cooked from raw. Okay? So now I got my ham in there. And also, don't be so quick to, if you're using ham that you've bought or meat that you've bought that you know has been processed and ham has, don't be real quick to add a bunch of salt. Just wait and see what that liquid's going to come up to, because they may have processed a lot of salt in there and you don't need it. So we're not going to add salt yet, but we will add our onion. Now I'll walk over here, get my onion and my knife. First I'll peel it over here to have that out of the way. Now, a lot of people need cutting boards for cutting all this stuff. I don't. I wasn't raised like that. I was raised just to use my hands. And I have found this outside piece of this onion. You could cut that up and put that in there, but it'll end up being kind of tough. So I take it off. Now, you can boil this. You can boil this and make some flavoring for something else, make some broth. And I understand some people just drink it like a tea. But I'm going to end up, what I'm going to do with it today, I'm going to compost it. And I have my compost. Let me show you that too. I have my compost right. See, yeah, y'all can see it. It's right here. I have 2 sacks inside each other, tied up, and I take this out almost daily or every other day. Okay, so now we're going to take our onion that I got. Now I got a lot of vegetables. I'll show you what all I'm going to do. But this is what I'm going to cut up. Now this goes in with the meat. Your onion goes in with the meat. Now you know your onion is round, cut round in rings. So what you do is you're cutting the opposite direction. That's all you're doing. Then you get up small pieces. And really in this soup, I don't care if it's real, if there's any big pieces, I don't care. I like onion. I like onion in my soups. Some people don't, and if you don't, well, don't use it. Get you some onion powder for flavor. Some people don't like the thought of an onion in their plate or in their bowl. Then, okay, I've cut past what I cut before. I'm just going to cut some more because I have room. And this is not one of those super Asian knives that go, cutting potato chips, thin tomato. This knife is not real sharp. It's sharp enough. It's not real sharp. It is cutting the onion, as you see. And I'm going to come in and cut this little piece. Hope my hands ain't blocking everything. I just cut the rest of this up in different sizes, different pieces. Just drop it on in there. Now, find one you don't like, go back and get it and cut it up. Now, can y'all see that? Okay. Now, that's it's set on high. And I put a lid on and a cloth on. Be careful of this cloth when you raise and open the lid. You don't want to drop this cloth down in there. It'll suck out all the good stuff. So we got this over this. And the only thing about this crock pot, this is one I just picked up. It doesn't have a light. And I like lights on there. But I'll survive. Okay. Now I'll come over here and show you the vegetables I got. And then I'll come back and show you these vegetables I have in a can. Okay. Now, okay, I have this bag. You buy this stuff right here for it's vegetable medley. You buy this for dips. Okay, I pulled all these little carrots out. Let me drop it down. Okay, you got the carrots. These don't taste good in soup. If you have to, yeah, use them, but they do not. Don't make the soup that flavorful. Just keep them as you bought them. Rinse them off. Keep them. Put them in a bowl. Eat them. Eat them raw. Get you some dip, whatever you need to do, and maybe some salad dressing if you don't have dip, and eat them that way. But don't let them go bad. Go ahead and eat them. And this I'm going to drop in the soup. This is a little bit of cauliflower, a little broccoli, maybe a few little tidbits of that carrot, not much. Okay, then next here, I will be peeling these potatoes. I'm sure y'all know how to peel potatoes. If you ain't, you can watch me now. I'm cutting the eyes off. And oh my gosh, when I grew up, even though we were poor as everything, my mother did not let you leave any eyes to go into those mashed potatoes or whatever she was fixing. We didn't eat a whole lot of fried potatoes. We ate fried potatoes, I guess, when McDonald's came along. But this right here, you can, now on these peels, you can either compost them, um, you can boil them, put into the onion skins and make the broth like I talked about for cooking needing a vegetable broth. You can fry them just like they are and eat them. Now what I will do is cut these potatoes up. Now the size of the potato, the size that you cut it up in, that's how fast it cooks. Now I don't like little bitty potatoes. That's why I don't like them canned vegetables where the vegetables are all diced up. I don't care for that. I like them in the soup, like this size. I'll even take, even can go for a little smaller sizes for the fork. But this is what they'll be cut up into and peeled. This I'll use for the carrots. And I'll start out with the carrots. Same thing with the carrots. I can't fry the carrots, but I cut both ends off and I peel them. This is a good peeler. Maybe you have a different kind that just has a handle and you can go down the same. If it's got a bad place, the other ones have little points on them so you can, dig out the bad. But I like this one the best. And now this goes in the compost, the carrot peelings. And the sizes that I'll cut this up into will be like this. I don't like that kind of thing, like they do in those cans. They have them, they have these little bitty slices and even cut even smaller. I don't like that. And I don't like them putting carrots in everything. I like my sizes where I can touch it with a fork, about the size I do with my potatoes. Okay. So this is not going in my soup yet. This is for later, for when I cook, depending on what kind of meat I have and how long it needs to cook. And I like it if it has bones in it, that it will break down into this liquid over here. So all this can just sit here. There's no big deal. It's not hurting anything. So let's walk over here. And okay, now here's the other thing that I will add. I like to get canned stuff. I can't believe I'm shorter than this is going to show here. I like canned things for emergencies, and I do put tomatoes away from my garden, and I do put green beans away from my garden, but I don't have any. Now, I might not use this whole can. I might just use some of it. I don't want anything to overwhelm anything. So I'm going to open this. We'll open it. There we go. Now these are just going to sit. These beans are just, I'm going to pour the water out. Not that I have anything against the water. It's just I don't need it. And I don't believe that it's flavored. So, but this one, this is the big whole tomatoes. I don't like the tomatoes in a can chopped up in little squares. The peelings come off of it, they float around, and it just looks so commercial. It doesn't look like homemade tomatoes in there. Okay, we're going to open this. Okay, I'm going to get a little something that I can... This is my favorite spoon. We all have favorite spoons that we use. And I'm going to lift that lid that way. And now, what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to use the liquid off of this, and I'll show you what I do to each tomato. I'm going to put one tomato in so I can just show you. Here we go. We're going to take this off. It hadn't really started going in here. And you do want the tomatoes to cook down and break down. So you can put them in with the meat, but I don't usually. Okay. Now, here I am. I'm going to do this by hand. This is how I do it. Now, I just break it up. Breaking it up, just like this. You can use a knife, I guess, but I like things more natural and I don't want to cut edge on something. Okay, now here's what I'm taking away. This little hard core that sits down in. Now, I'm going to put this in my compost, or I could put it in my pot of vegetable broth that I'm making with the onion. What else do I have? Carrot peelings and carrot pieces and potato peelings. That all would make good vegetable broth, and then you could boil that and then put that in the freezer. And then what's left, you could blend up and even put back into your soup. Or you can compost. So, but I'm going to compost this, and that's what I'm going to do with each one of these tomatoes. You see there's the sprout and the center core of that. Get it down over your pot because it's got liquid in it and it's going to squirt out. So here I am. I'm breaking it up. Down a little bit. I'm breaking it up. Okay. Now if this gets in here in any way, it's okay. But I don't like the looks of it in my soup, really. It might cook away. But there it is again. There's the little top of the tomato, and I just put it right there. Now that's all I'm going to do because I don't really, I'm going to go ahead and put that liquid in there. Now it's not cold. It's not hot, but it's not cold. The reason I went ahead and put it in there is because I've spilled a little here on my counter and I wanted to get that out of the way. And then here's my other, I should already opened this and showed y'all. My other, what I got here, poured the liquid out of. That's green beans, no special kind. My favorite green bean is those flat Kentucky beans. They don't go in right now. They're already done, you see. And if I put them in there, they just cook away to nothing. So we don't put them in there yet. Now, we're going to put the lid back on. Remember about the salt. Don't forget the salt. But don't put it in there now until you've tasted the water after that meat has boiled. Okay. That's so you can test and see how much there is. Now, I don't think I've left anything out. I'm not sure. Everything will go in later that I have over here. And but I just want to help out the people that have forgotten, or hey, I hadn't tried that in my soup before. I use different kind of vegetables, and I like to clean out my refrigerator. But make sure your food's good in there. You know, don't put rotten food in the pot. Cut that away. Your vegetable may be good on one end, and cut that other away. But anyway, that's my soup I've started for today, and it's going to be nice to eat later, nice and hot. Use some crackers or whatever I want to fix, biscuits, cornbread, whatever I need extra. I even use soup crackers sometime. But anyway, that's what I got going on today. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.